Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 8 of the Mama Genius Festival. We are so excited that you are with us, and we got 3 great speakers going on today. So excited for that. So much going on, and we've got a great question of the day. Let me just start by talking about some speakers today. So our first speaker today is actually coming up in 10 minutes, so 13 minutes from now. So we're going to make sure that we're off and not going long today. We do have a 9 a.m. Central, which is Efrat. She is talking about how to support your child's soul journey. And I've been reading her book. It is amazing just what she's been through. She went through this horrible car accident, and you just got to dive in there and learn how she figured this all out with a near-death experience. But her description is our human self interweaves many layers, including our spiritual self. How can we nurture our children to stay true to their soul essence and live the lives with fulfillment and whole joy? And that actually goes into the conversation that Abigail and I were just having, which we'll get into when we get to the question of the day a little bit. But that's at 9 a.m. Who's at right after her at 10 a.m.? Who's at, Abigail?
We have Chiara Townley at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and she's going to be talking about the energy body and motherhood. What you're going to do is learn why the energy body matters in motherhood, the changes and challenges the energy center, the chakras, go through in the transition to motherhood, and quick practices to heal and balance your feminine energy. And again, that's at 10 a.m.
I know I need that one. So even if I can't catch that one live, I'm going to be watching the replay because I want to learn a little bit more about my chakras. I've been diving into that a little bit, but I could always use some more help on that. And then at 3 p.m., so later on in the day, we have Cami, who is inspiring long life learning to start having more fun. Yes, closer family relationships and deeper learning about through creating a culture environment that inspires lifelong learning. Yes, we need that. Consistent lifelong learning creates leaders that change our world through their unique passions. Yes, yes, yes. You definitely need to be listening to that one as well. Lily and I did a little live this morning where we're having a little fun and interact together. Go check that out. It's called Boo. Figure out what Boo means. It's not what you think, even though Halloween's coming up. So we'll check that out as well today. We don't have a prize to give away today, but we'll be giving away some more prizes throughout the week. The question of the day to answer today for prizes is, what's something new you've learned about yourself since becoming a mom? Now, Abigail, before we got on here, we were kind of just chatting about the different options that we had and stuff. And one of the things that actually came up, I'm going to let Abigail take it away first.
Well, one of the things that came up is the fact that I had to learn how to filter what my child was taking in, the information. There's so much information coming in from all sorts of places. And there are things that when I was a kid, they weren't putting in music. It wasn't shown all over TV. It wasn't everywhere we turned. And my mother didn't have to be so concerned about the things I was taking in. But now there is so much garbage being thrown at our kids, and how to filter it. When my kids were little, the video games first came out, and they would play the games and we'd listen to them play the games. And I started noticing they would say things like, "You killed me, you killed me." And that it just grabbed my heart to hear those words coming out of my children's mouths. So we had a rule in our house: that's not what you say. My character died, but you're not screaming, "I died." You're not screaming words like that. And because we've seen the kids do it with such force and such emotion, actually attaching themselves to these words, that was some of the things we had to put our foot down. You don't say that in my house. You can play the games, that's fine. But if the character dies, that's what you say out of your mouth, because words matter.
I think, becoming a mom, I've learned even more importantly how much words matter. And then even to go alongside with, some of the things that we do in terms of even patience. Or I was telling Abigail when my husband and I travel around the world, we play a lot of card games waiting for food. And I would just get so frustrated. I'd throw the cards at him. And I won more of the times than I lost. But the few times I was losing, I was such a sore loser. And I think it's learning how to do that graciously. And so teaching that to the kids, I've learned finally it is really about the fun of it. And I think part of that is trying to take them away from some of the elements that are around us and realizing, how do we have fun together? How do we grow who we are, and doing these, adjusting through our emotions through all this. I mean, becoming a mom, like things I've learned is, oh my God, the range of emotions you have. Like you didn't realize how impatient you can get. So you have those little kids poking at every little button you have. And how do you get those patients back with this extra stress on you? And then all the things that you need to protect them from, and it's not even necessarily the protection as much as is teaching them how to filter for themselves, because we're not going to be there. And a situation recently came up where it was just with one of my kids, that it was just that it wasn't that it was having that deep conversation with them about how to do things a little bit differently. And they wanted to watch a show, and it wasn't even necessarily a bad show, but they felt like they had to hide it. And it was those things where it's like, it's more creating those bad habits that they can't undo later. And so it's more like, it's not necessarily bad to do this, or you want downtime, you don't necessarily want to watch stuff as a family anymore. That's okay. But like doing it in a different way. Do it where you could be doing it like, don't do it in your bed, because I've made that bad habit of sometimes watching TV and then like I need that extra boost, which isn't good for your brain, to go to sleep. And so it's more about choosing how long you're going to do it and creating these habits. So it's like, set a timer for half an hour and say that you're going to turn it off in that half an hour, because we go down those loops where we keep going and going and going, right? So it's having those types of conversations, because you won't be there. You won't be there when they're with their friends and having to make these decisions. But preemptively having these conversations, that's what I've learned so much about myself in this, is what can I tolerate? What are the things that I'm willing to do? But it's more that I'm not going to be there. And I can't go with this idea of protection, of me protecting her, but of finding ways for her to protect, how to filter herself or himself, and be able to be in those situations where they make their own choices, good or bad. I mean, we make mistakes, but knowing that when whatever decision they make, we're there to support them. And I think that is so key, is that this idea of protection, but we're not always there. So it's not us protecting them, it's us coaching, showing them how to make choices and decisions for themselves to not make the bad habits. And I'll even throw in my own bad habits when I'm having these conversations about watching TV in bed or about doing some of these things. And I think that's what really it is showing them who we are and who they are, and trying to melt that together. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be vulnerable with your kids and saying, yeah, I did that. Let me take a deep breath while I share that with you. But that's kind of what they need to really take you seriously. In some of the things you're sharing, is helping them make their own choices. And I know that they're going to make their own mistakes. And it's, what are you willing to do when they bring those mistakes to you? And that's hard.
Yeah. You know, you're right. We can't always be there with our children. And my mother taught me Psalm 91 and Psalm 23. They were my protection, because we follow our friends. Children follow their friends. I followed my friends into places where they would stick a gun in my face when I walked in the door. We follow our friends. We don't know where our children are. And, yes, we know their parents, but kids, we need to pray over our children and know that they're protected. That's one of the things Psalm 91 did for my mother and for me with my children. I knew my children were protected because I knew some of the things I did that my mom could not protect me from.
And I think that's what it really just comes down to, is trying to create that safe space for me, learning that it wasn't about control. It was for me, because I wanted to control, I wanted to protect them, I wanted to keep them from those things, but there's only so much we can do. And they have all the things at their fingertips. They have TV pushing all these things at them and stuff. And so really it's more creating that space where we're that guide for them, and then knowing that they can come to you when things don't go right, because that's the part I think that is scariest, is when they do make a mistake, that they feel like they have to hide it. And that's when the trouble starts to happen, is those secrets and the things that we do when we keep secrets. And that's what I've learned especially as in being a parent and doing things differently, is things of what comes up of even as a kid, the secrets are things that I kept and how that can eat away you and create that trauma later on and things like that. But really it's just the key thing is really create that open space where you have open communication as much as possible. I try to go talk to my son sometimes, and with that 13-year-old brain, it's like, hi, can I do anything? Can I make you breakfast? And I'm like, okay. Like I was just offering to make you breakfast, but all right. It is what it is, and we just keep trying. And but that's why we come to Mama Genius Festival, so we can fill our cups. And when they do growl at us because their brains aren't changing, they're not in their, it's a physical fact. Their brains are literally changing and growing and like developing, and they can't necessarily control their anger right now. It's a physical fact, but we need the support of making sure our cups are filled, making sure we are feeling that, so that when that happens, I'm not screaming back at him because my cup's filled and I can go share my challenge somewhere else and work through that, but not put more on him when they're going through so much with their changes and stuff, and just trying to be there as much as we can in whatever capacity we can. And we have a lot of teenage experts in there too, which I've been listening to as well, showing us different tips on how to approach that. So on that note, come inside the festival, and we have one starting in just a few minutes. I don't want to go over her, and go join the group right now. We'll see you on the inside. Bye, everyone.
Bye.